Okay, welcome to Girls Got Groceries. Today we are going through one of the fall specials of squash soup. So this is something that's suggested by my husband. It's something that you can save. It's something you can make in big batches. It's something that's super versatile. You can fit it into any dietary diet that you have or anything that you need to eliminate from your diet. So here's a couple ways that you can do it. First, I love the roasting method, and what we're going to do for one soup is we're going to roast, and the other one we're going to do it on the stove top. So how you can peel, I kind of got this one started. You can use a knife, you can use a peeler, anything that you have that can help get the skin off. We have our pan of squash, good to go, and we have our pan of chickpeas, good to go. Just grab my salt shaker. You could do any kind of salt, really, because we're going to put more spices on the chickpeas, so this is just kind of to give them, bring the flavor out, dry them out a little bit, pull the water out so they're crispier. We're going to put both of these in the oven in this center rack. So the chickpeas will be done in 30 minutes, and the squash, there we go, will be done in about an hour. What do you do when you have a half hour, an hour to spare? This is what the recipe doesn't tell you. Go do some laundry, go do a workout, catch up on the dishes, write your meal plan, start doing some other things. So what I'm going to do now is start preparing the next squash, but I want you to know that just because you're meal prepping doesn't mean that you're wasting time just standing in the kitchen. One thing that I would highly recommend, probably everyone has a phone, so you can set the timer on your phone, you can set it on your watch. When that half-hour mark hits, then I don't have to just be here standing and waiting for things to happen. I can get out, I can get more stuff done. Okay, so now we're on to our second soup. The first one's in the oven roasting. What I'm going to do here is more of a stovetop method. So I've diced up our squash, our onion, and I'll get our carrots in the meantime. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to light your stove, throw in some oil, let that heat up a little bit. Then you're going to brown your onions just a little bit, and then throw in the rest of your vegetables, the rest of your liquid, and it's going to come to a boil, and you're just going to boil it for like 15-20 minutes until everything's feeling pretty soft. So something that goes really well with squash soup, of course we have the grilled cheese. Everyone loves the grilled cheese. A turkey panini would go really well. And then one thing that we've learned to do in our house is pork chops. We eat a lot of pork, and so we would do this with some pork chops. Okay, so our timer went off, and I mixed together some spices. Our chickpeas came out of the oven, so they're like nice and crispy. And then you're just gonna coat them. Okay, so we have both of our squash done the separate ways. So we have this roasted, and you can feel it's pretty soft. Then we have our pot full of the squash, the carrots, the onions that have melded together with the apple cider and some veggie broth. So here's two different ways to assemble. So it calls for about a half a cup of pumpkin puree. I just use organic pumpkin puree, and of course I'm guessing this is all to taste. So then it calls for heavy cream or cream cheese. Well, a really easy fix, and something that I find I don't mind the taste, is this coconut cream. And so you just get full fat, or coconut milk. You get full fat coconut milk, and you just pour that into your desired consistency. It's just going to give it a little creaminess. And then come over to my emulsion blender and just blend it until my desired consistency. It does call for some butter. You can use some. You can use some of a different fat that works with your diet and your restrictions. Or I do real butter. and just use my emulsion blender to get it to the desired consistency that I want. Now I'm going to move on to this one, and I'm all for storing soup and freezing it and not eating it the same day I make it. So I'm just going to throw it right away in my Tupperware. Now that this is cooked, look how easy it's going to scoop out of there. So even though that this one was less time consuming on the front end because you just cut it in half, you kind of do the scraping and whatnot at the back side, whereas this one was you do the chopping at the front side and it sits on the oven or on the stove top, and this one goes in the oven. So it's whatever you like. You could do, for me, since I was doing them both at the same time, it worked to do one on one, one on the other. I'll do the next one, add all the ingredients, emulsion that up, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what the final product looks like. So there you have it. We have two soups done a little bit differently. You have one where it was done on the stove top. It's a little liquidier. It's a little thinner when you go to blend it. And then you have one we did in the oven. It's a little chunkier. It goes really well with pork chops. This one would go really well as like a tomato soup substitute. We also have our chickpeas that we made. That would be good on either of them. Gives it a little spice. Hopefully this is helpful. You learned how to use butternut squash, how to prepare it, and some principles that can make you have a soup that's something that you want to enjoy this fall. Thank you for watching Girls Got Groceries. I'm excited to kick this off, and yeah, we'll see you next time.